Love it or leave it.
My next guest is ready to be your congressperson. Please welcome to the stage the incredible Janelle Stelson. Hi, thank you for being here. Come on in.
Whoa, that's
Yes,
deep.
it's deep. It's a deep, low couch.
This is a deep show.
It's a deep show and a deep couch. So, you're running against Congressman Scott Perry.
Yes, sir. Oh, okay.
Nosferatu pronounced it Wooder. You know?
Nosferatu,
Yeah, Nosferatu.
like the devil, Beelzebub.
Sure. Yeah, sure. So first of all, you were a newscaster. You are a newscaster.
You have to be nonpartisan on local news. So once I declared I was running,
You were out.
no job, gone.
God, so it's all on the line.
Tossed.
And you actually, I found this really interesting. You moderated a debate.
Not just one, two of Scott Perry's last two debates.
You
as a news
moderated-
anchor. I know where his soft underbelly is. I'm gonna get him
Because you're debating him.
next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Well, we were supposed to have two debates, but he backed out of the second one already.
Wow.
I think he's scared.
What was it? What did you learn? Now that you have to debate him, what did you learn having moderated a debate that he was in?
Well, to be technical, I learned that a political debate on local news is a hard sell. And so we try to keep it really snappy so the answers are only like 1 minute, 30 seconds to rebut. And I learned that almost anybody can sound normal for a minute. But if you go longer and give someone enough rope to hang themselves,
Something to think about. So, you're talking about what it takes to reveal someone's character. We want to walk you through your opponent's character in a game we're calling Drop It Like It's Scott. And here's how it works. I'm going to have you rank the following true facts about Congressman Scott Perry. You have to place them on a scale of 7 being ghoulish to 1, which is downright spine-tingling. 1's the worst. But they're all pretty bad. And it's blind ranking, so you won't know what's coming.
okay.
Okay? We have 7. Wait, hold on.
Sort of fair.
It's not fair at all.
It's okay. I feel the temptation to clean up the mess, sort of like I hopefully will be sent to Washington to do.
Nice, I like that.
LFG, as the kids say. LFG.
All right, first up, LFG. Scott Perry posted an anti-Semitic meme to his campaign's Facebook page this summer. We're not going to show it to you. Amidst all the AI-generated minion photos, we're not going to show you what he actually posted, but it's your usual scheming, bearded Jewish bankers standing over a Monopoly board, resting on the backs of naked figures, accompanied by the text, "If the people stand, the game is over." Perry captioned it, "Says it all."
It's actually true.
Yeah, true. And there are 7 things you have to rank, and that's the first one we're going to make you rank.
And 1 is the worst?
1 is the worst.
Man, okay, 1. I don't know what's coming, but it's pretty bad. That was pretty bad.
I think give yourself some, I think do 2. Give yourself space.
Okay.
If you've never seen a blind ranking before, you got to
Do we
make...
get to do like 1.57?
You can, if you'd like, but...
Okay. 2. All right, 2. Thank
2.
you very much for the assist.
Yeah, all
It's going to take all of us.
Next up, he had his phone taken by the FBI as part of a federal investigation. That's right, Congressman Scott Perry has tried desperately to conceal the many emails and text messages he allegedly sent about interfering with Pennsylvania's election results at the behest of Donald Trump. Perry's phone was seized in 2022, and he's engaged in a lengthy legal battle with the federal government to keep a lid on the messages. However, a federal judge has ordered that his phone data, including 1,600 emails and texts, should be handed over to the special counsel's office. Then in June, a federal judge ruled that those emails and texts could be released to the public. Now a federal court will decide, and I, for one, say gimme. One note, some of the texts were unsealed, and he texted Mark Meadows on November 7th, 2020 to discuss Pennsylvania's election results. Not great.
Well, however, there is a silver lining, kind of an optimist, and I will say we outraised the 6-term incumbent by double last quarter. So I'm thinking part of the problem was it was hard for him to dial for dollars without his cell phone.
Right. Can't turn his phone over.
So I'm going to give that one a 5.
All right, that's a 5. Great. Next up, he allegedly planned January 6th. According to Trump White House aide Cassidy Hutchinson, Perry was central to the planning of January 6th. She also said that Perry allegedly asked Trump for a pardon. In May, it came out that Perry's campaign finance report, he spent $300,000 of his campaign's money to hire 2 law firms to defend him around the federal investigation into his involvement in the insurrection. He also voted against awarding congressional gold medals to the United States Capitol Police.
So, thank you very much. And that's sort of a 2-pronged situation. I don't know if I'll do it like 5 and 5 or what, but I will say the fact that he's being investigated by the FBI and said that Italian satellites screwed with the voting machines and turned Trump votes into Biden votes, even though his votes were in the same machines and they seem to be fine, untouched. There is all of that, and he's the guy who tried to install Jeffrey Clark, his friend who was an environmental attorney from Philadelphia, I think, at the head of the Department of Justice, thinking that he would be more amenable to the fake slates of electors across the country. So,
yes, and just so people remember, Jeffrey Clark is the person, if you have an image of in your mind, he's the person where the FBI came to his house and he was standing outside in his shirt sleeves. Remember that guy? Jeffrey Clark.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to give this one, I think, a 6. This is not the worst.
Okay. Next up, refused to denounce QAnon. In 2020, Congressman Scott Perry voted against a non-binding resolution denouncing QAnon. When asked about his vote, Perry said, "A lot of people dislike a lot of things in this country. Some people don't like certain vegetables or what have you. I thought we'd get through this year's tour before I had to say this, but most eggplants don't believe the government is run by a cabal of satanic child molesters that only their messiah Donald Trump can save them from." In other words,
this is really mean to vegetables
Right.
to compare them to QAnon.
he's saying, oh yeah, some people don't like broccoli. No one, you're saying Jews control the weather. They're different, What do you think? Won't denounce QAnon.
Oh, it's all so terrible, but I can't give everybody a 1. Let's put a 3 on that.
Next up, he tells veterans to kick rocks. Twice voted against the PACT Act to expand VA health benefits. He was also the only member of PA's congressional delegation to vote against the bill to help homeless veterans, even though your district has 45,000 veterans consistently voted. This was a bill to include burn pit and other toxic substance exposure as part of VA health benefits. Voted no, one of very few Republicans to even vote no.
This is, glad it's not lightning round, but I will say I have several veterans who have joined my campaign who are Republicans who served under Scott Perry and have said, you got to get rid of this guy. You don't know what a favor you'll be doing the country.
Yeah. What do you think? What number?
Serious stuff. It's just, it's all mind-bending. You say 4. Yeah, I would agree. 4.
It's awful. Spread Dominion voting machine conspiracy theories. At one point, Perry texted Mark Meadow that maybe British people were using Chinese malware to control the election. He said, this is a real text, DNI needs to task NSA to immediately seize and begin looking for international comms related to Dominion. Was China malware involved? And Gina is still running around on the Hill covering for the Brits who helped quarterback this entire operation. That's a reference to Trump's CIA director, Gina Haspel. Oh my fucking God, this guy is out of his gourd.
He is, and I would just remind everybody that this guy who the FBI is investigating because his deep involvement in the deadly insurrection January 6th is now on the previously nonpartisan Intel Committee, which oversees the FBI that is investigating him. and the CIA, which he basically wants to burn down with the Education Department and the IRS. You know, I'm all about listening to creative solutions, but when you never offer, you know, anything in their place, I'm pretty sure we're not going to stop educating people. Pretty sure we need taxes to do the people's business, all of that. It's just, he's absurd. Okay, you want a number. Having said all that, what do we say, 5?
Yeah, we're at 5. We're at
less
5.
egregious than, you know, a whole burning down a democracy and taking away women's rights, et cetera. Yeah.
Well, that's the last
5.
one. That's where we're going to land, which is Perry has supported a near total ban on abortion without exceptions for rape or incest. He voted for legislation that prevent women from able to access mifepristone. Number 1, he's a co-sponsor of a bill that would impose restrictions on IVF, much like what happened in Alabama. Like many of fellow Republicans, he's trying to obscure his record, but that's his record. Number 1.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That's not a question. You know, this is a guy, and this crosses party lines. My 89-year-old Republican mother says, "You will not tell me what to do with my body." While I'm pretty sure I'm not having a little sister anytime soon.
Right.
That's just, it crosses party lines. The fact that he has, for the past 7 years, sponsored the Life at Conception Act, which is a nationwide abortion ban with no exceptions for rape, incest, life of the woman. Thank you. It feels the same way about IVF. We have one of my team members, campaign team members tonight, and his fabulous husband who are in the audience. They have the most beautiful son named Simon, who they got through IVF. And, you know, it touches everybody. Oh, I see you pointing. Hi, Evan. Anyway, and hi, Eric, backstage. This Simon is the cutest boy with the fattest cheeks. I mean, the fact so many families, who here has been touched by IVF in their family? Yeah, a lot of people. Anyway, they are some of the most precious people in the world to me, and the fact that he wants to take that away, that's also a 1, man. That's tied for 1.
Number
that's
1.
Just,
Number
yeah,
1.
No way.
What made you decide to want to go from being somebody that covers politics to getting in the muck, you know?
Yeah.
Putting on the boots and getting in the filthy, filthy swamp?
Well, some of my colleagues have suggested, why you run into the dumpster fire instead of away from it? And, you know, I said, if good people don't stand up, where are we? And thank you. I will say I can cite 3 examples. One is I have been out where the yellow tape is on the scene of gun crimes. I have been hugged by mothers too long and too hard, frankly, because they know they're never going to hug their child again. So I've seen close up the public health emergency that is gun violence. I was live on the set 2 years ago when the Supreme Court handed down the Dobbs decision. And I had to look out into the camera at my time in my best nonpartisan way, you know, like all of us who were just watching this unfold in disbelief. I had to look out into the camera and tell every woman watching that her rights had been rolled back 50 years. And a couple of things happened that day. It took a big chunk out of my heart. I went back up to the newsroom after our live coverage, and a gentleman I worked with who coordinated all our coverage. So he's seen a lot of trauma. You know, you go report on the pond where the 2 kids drowned. You go to the fiery crash on the interstate. And I've never even seen him blink. He was in the corner with his shoulders hunched over, put my hand on his shoulder and asked what was going on, if he was okay. And he looked up with tears in his eyes. And this is a big, works out all the time, tats all over, crazy hair. And he said, "Janelle, you don't know this, but my wife was raped. And had we not had abortion available to us, our lives would be ruined." And it's a really good thing to remember on the campaign trail, because this is not a women's issue. It is, but it's not. It's also the men who love us and the families we surround ourselves by. And it gets even better. We had to interview our local congresspeople and get their reaction to the Dobbs decision. And one Scott Perry was basically dancing a jig because, as I already outlined, he has sponsored a nationwide abortion ban for years. He thought it was a magnificent decision. The other thing is, I covered watched in horror with everybody January 6th, covering that from the front lines too. And I just, how do you stand by and not do something while you watch the bastion of democracy, while you watch them try to rip it apart and kill people and hurt people? And the fact that Scott Perry was the only one in Pennsylvania's congressional delegation, and we have a conservative delegation on the Republican side. He was the only one who voted not to give medals, as you said earlier, to the Capitol Police who defended the Capitol, who protected him, who protected his colleagues, so that a few hours later, he could safely walk back into the chamber and vote to overturn your vote, my vote, all of our votes here in Pennsylvania.
I'm so mad.
I know. You should be mad.
I also am glad that you're helping to restore the reputation of local news anchors, because Carrie Lake is out there.
I know.
And you don't want Carrie Lake speaking for you.
The lowest common denominator there is that we were both on TV. One of us is not trying to be Donald Trump's running mate.
Right. Well, before we let you go, one thing that I just love about news anchors is you have an ability to kind of close out a story in a way that makes us all feel really good. And so we have a few that I think kind of capture a vibe about local news that I love. And I was hoping that you could just give us the experience of what it's like to hear those stories reported.
All right. If I must. The dog was retrieved from the neighbor's roof unharmed, but the same cannot be said for that Christmas ham.
Let's do two more.
So stupid. Alma Jenkins may not have hit bingo on Wednesday night, but she won a prize even sweeter, a Christmas ham.
I love it. All right, one more.
Okay, one more. I have to say I love these because it has been suggested by some people, even though it's a little insulting, that I could be a ham sandwich and they would still vote for me over Scott Perry.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Local shopkeeper Daryl Mason may be too humble to call himself a hero, but tell that to the kids of the Allegheny Middle School marching band who marched all the way down Main Street to bring Mr. Mason a Christmas ham.
Thank you so much, Janelle. What's the website where people can go? Where can they go to support your campaign, to volunteer, if they want to come help?
Oh, yeah. This is going to be close. So I won my 6-way primary by 20 points. This ain't going to be that. This is going to be close. This is a street fight. I need all the help you can give me, whether it's making phone calls, come a couple districts over and do some door knocking for me. And the other thing, of course, you could write a big fat check. I will say the individual maximum is $3,300. You can go to JanelleStelson.com to learn more about anything.
So help Janelle. This is the race that could decide whether or not Hakeem Jeffries or that man with his phone app and his son is Speaker of the House. Janelle, thank you so much.
Thank you. Such a pleasure.
Such a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you
One more
all.
time for Janelle. For Janelle Stelson, everybody. Come on. How great. Thank you so much.